Hey, I'm Dimitri, and welcome to the show.
This is Burnt Popcorn Gaming.
Yeah!
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us again. This is Dimitri from Burnt Popcorn Gaming, and we're back here with a Warframe lore, like backstory part 2, so here we go. So we left off where, the Warframes were all coming into place, and the 10-0 guided Warframes, right? And so the the Orkin found out that the 10-0 guided Warframes were actually efficient killing machines. Like, they would absolutely just destroy everything that came in front of them. So what the Sentinent decided to do was they created this Nata. Nata was a last-ditch Sentinent who had been created with the sole purpose to take control over this, control of this 10-0 themselves. She infiltrated the the system of the 10-0, but was not able to prevent Orkin forces from recapturing and crippling/destroying the outer terminus. So the Orkin were victorious at the time, but the 10-0 chose to betray the Orkin, ultimately triggering a history point known as the Collapse. So the war was over, and the Sentinent now gone, and the Orkin now destroyed. All Nata had to do was finish her mission to annihilate the 10-0. However, due to that, is what revealed as a gap, a state where the part of a Sentinent became corrupted when crossing over the origin system. She was unable to execute this mission and instead grew a humane affection toward the 10-0 themselves. She ended up betraying her last mission and took the 10-0 as her children, becoming known as the Lotus. So the Lotus that's in this game, which is the person that sometimes talks to you a lot, is actually Nata, or Nata, however you want to pronounce it. Her original mission was to absolutely wreck the 10-0. So the Grineer, who were workers or slaves to the Orkin, took advantage of the chaos and sprung revolts all across the system, stealing Orkin ships and weapons while also securing and cloning technologies that created them. Alluding to the Guardsman Codex's entry, during this time, during this period, the two Orkin twins used this opportunity to enact revenge and began to amass armies of loyal Grineer to their cause, which eventually led them to becoming the sole rulers of them. It is unknown the exact origins of the pre-corpus, whether they were lowly Orkin servants or worshipping colonists of some description. They eventually made a grasp on the system shortly after the Grineer rose to power, quickly occupying wrecks and crash sites on various planets to scavenge the technology and grow. Eventually, the two powers grew equally in power and began to trade technology to the Grineer in exchange for raw materials or currency. So this is all a lot of hoopla. This part right here, where the corpus kind of came out of nowhere, like the robot dudes that were kind of weird. So they kind of became equal with the power of the Grineer, and the Grineer are like the weird green human dudes in this game. So yeah. So the last part of this story here is kind of long. But the Corpus were widely considered the governing force in economics and research. The Grineer both fight with the Corpus for power and buy technology from them. At one time, the Infested had all but conquered a few of the Origin System's planets, but have been pushed back to their residence on a drifting ancient Orkin derelict and recently conquered Eris, apart from the occasional outbreak on populated planets. All that is left of the Orkin are the forgotten prime weapons they either built or had a hand. Sorry, my voice is really bad today. Either built or had a hand in building, and towers in dangerous areas known as the Void. The 10-0 are becoming reawakened by Lotus, not remember anything of their past. Many 10-0 awake from the cryosleep already connected to the Warframe that Lotus informs them how to use, unaware of the true nature. They are then set loose upon the solar system, either alone or in small squads, to tackle a wide variety of missions designated by the Lotus to maintain balance between the Grineer and Corpus factions, or to quell infested uprisings. The Corpus also start to make an attempt to rebuild the outer terminus. In the meantime, Grineer researcher Ty Regor finds and breaks open the vault where an ancient Sentinent was held within. Sentinent Oculus drones are sighted by Tenno across the Origin system. Other sentients are said to be entombed in other locations. Signs of the sentient are very clear, and it's hinted that they returned to the Origin system and to reconquer what they had been defeated with. Alright, so that's basically the whole story. Well, the whole second half of the story. And it kind of leads off as like a, oh, this will be coming soon, you know? So, yeah, it's like a cliffhanger, so we'll have to see what, I can't remember what the name of the company that made this game was, but we'll have to see what they do with this game, and yeah, so that's basically the story of the game.